This video is intended to help people who have a hard time putting on weight, or more specifically muscle mass. Some of the factors that make it harder to put on weight include age. Generally speaking, younger people have a harder time putting on weight than older people. Physical activity plays a role, as the more movement you have in your life and throughout your week, the higher your energy expenditure is going to be, and the more you're going to have to eat to be in a caloric surplus. And another factor is simply some people have a higher baseline metabolic rate than others, making it harder for them to put on weight. If your goal is to put on lean body mass and you're having a hard time doing it, you really need to focus on 3 essential priorities, which are eating enough calories, eating enough protein, and engaging consistently in an exercise program. And this video relates specifically to the first 2 considerations of consuming enough calories and protein. For individuals who have an especially hard time putting on weight, it can be very beneficial to introduce some blended liquid meals, and there are a few reasons for this. One is that by blending many foods together, you can easily make a very calorie and nutrient dense meal. 2, smoothies do not take a long time to make. And 3, if you have a hard time putting on weight, you're likely going to need to force feed to a degree, and it's much easier to drink 800 calories than to eat 800 calories of solid food. So here are a couple protein smoothie recipes to help give you some ideas of calorie-dense blended meals that you can make on your own. And just a quick note before jumping into things is that the nutritional info mentioned in these recipes will vary depending on the kinds of brands that you use. Recipe number 1. 2 cups of whole milk, which is the most calorie-dense variety of cow's milk. 2 scoops of whey protein, which is a protein powder derived from milk. 1 large banana. Bananas are cheap and one of the more calorie-dense fruits. And lastly, 2 tablespoons of nut butter. It can be made from peanuts, almonds, cashews, and even something like tahini will work. And here's the total nutritional information for smoothie recipe number 1. Total protein, 65.5 grams. Total carbs, 68 grams. Total fat, 34.5 grams. Total fiber, 5.5 grams. And total calories, about 810. And now on to recipe number 2, which is non-dairy. 2 cups of oat milk, which is one of the more calorie-dense non-dairy varieties of milk. 2 scoops of plant-based protein powder. A half a cup of instant oats, which are one of the most processed forms of oats, making them blend more easily and absorb liquid more readily than rolled oats, which are also known as old-fashioned oats. And lastly, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which may sound strange, but it'll have a mild taste in the smoothie and it gives it a richer texture. Olive oil is even more calorie dense than nut butters, and since it's essentially a liquid, it's easily consumable, making it a useful ingredient to include in your smoothie if your goal is to put on weight. And here's the total nutritional information for smoothie recipe number 2. Total protein, 52 grams. Total carbs, 62.5 grams. Total fat, 43.5 grams. Total fiber, 11.5 grams. And total calories, about 830. Both of these smoothies contain a significant amount of calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And because of this, they're not meal replacements or snacks or protein shakes. These are legitimate full meals. They're just in a blended form, making them easier to eat and digest. And by adding 1 or even 2 of these to your nutrition per day, you can really set yourself up to reach your goal of gaining more weight and lean body mass. These protein smoothie ideas are meant to give you some ideas for inspiration to create your own blended meals. There's no right or wrong way to do this. As a general guide, just be sure to include a source of protein, carbs, and fat, and use your own creativity, knowledge of food sensitivity, and your own food preferences to come up with a smoothie that works for you. And you can scale the ingredients to a level that will meet your caloric and nutrient needs as well, because not everyone is going to need 1 to 2 800-calorie smoothies per day. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it helpful.